Good evening, one and all. We welcome you to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, sustainable development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns. In collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute, Center for Art, Sciences and Well-being. Before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's session. Today is very important day for all of us. In fact, for the entire world, today is all commemorating Kisan Divas, that is Farmers Day. And today, if we are having food, consuming food, then every moment, every time, every instance when we are consuming some food, then we have to thank farmers, because it is only because of them, their enormous contribution, their selfless love towards their profession, and their empathy and compassion towards the planet to provide food grains to the entire population, to as many as they can. They work 24/7. They work in all climatic conditions and in all environmental conditions, in spite of whether they are provided any facilities or not. They struggle day and night. They make all days together. Even on festivals, they don't have a holiday also. They work 24/7 in the fields, in agriculture activity and allied activity. And they literally, they are the ones who work very hard on the planet, and not for themselves, but to feed everyone. So such a kind, if we are ever grateful, we should be ever grateful on the planet, is first the Almighty, and then the nature which was created by Almighty, and then coming to the next one, who is after our Almighty nature and our parents and our teachers. There is one who has to be utmost respected, is the farmers. Without farmer, no one can survive. Even if you are a doctor, or even if you are any other person, but without food, can you survive? So it is most important profession and is most important individual on the planet who provides food for everyone, even though he is starving. And still, there are certain challenges we are facing with respect to the food agriculture systems, comparatively, many facilities have been provided and things are improving, though we have a long way to go. But still, because this is a uh, kind of profession or the activity that is entirely dependent on nature and environment. So, based on the climate change, has also impacted the way the agriculture is taken up, and the extensive use of these revolutions, which caused extensive use of fertilizers and water resources, have also increased different issues pertaining to quality, nutrition, production, and other pest management practices. So we have a multidimensional impacts issues that are affecting. In spite of that, farmer still is committed, dedicated in taking up production activity, agricultural activity, in spite of whether he gets any benefit out of it or not. We might be always struggling. We need only just 8 hours, and that too in very air conditioned rooms. And we need weekend off. We don't want to work Saturdays, Sundays, and we want every public holiday on festivals and all. Not you just compare the kind of and now we want to be paid lakhs per month, and just imagine how much farmers are earning one year, how much they would be earning, and what kind of work we. And when comparatively, it's not like you know we are actually comparing, but just the kind of hardships. Every every occupation is equally important, but at the same time, it is more important because without any other occupations, also we survived. Even without information technology, we survived for many years, hundreds, thousands of years. And even without these modern technologies, we will also survive. The basic survival skills are always there. But the basic skills or the basic occupation should be always protected and promoted. Without agriculture, how you will produce? And that too, such a large quantity of food grains, and population is growing today. But the farmers are day by day increasing, decreasing, and the land that is being cultivated is also decreasing. Now, how we are going to meet the food requirements of the entire population? Can we grow such a huge quantity without compromising nutritional values and without using these fertilizers and other things in lab? And how far they would be beneficial or having such a nutritional value? And it is a questionable. Today, what we are consuming is all genetically modified food. Because of that, we are getting lot of diseases today, disorders today. Everything is polluted, from the air we breathe, from the soil, the plants and the trees and the crops grow is highly polluted. And even the use of lot of pesticides and herbicides and various other insecticides used in the agriculture for pest management, that is causing lot of toxins and cancerous elements, and it is causing lot of diseases, disorders, and illness. So how we are going to manage this? We are also developing antibiotic resistance and various vaccines resistance because we are consuming a lot of medicines also. We are developing resistance towards it. So there are multitudinal issues. In spite of all that, in spite of all these issues, and sometimes we see farmers, they are leaving their produce in their field itself. And on the other side, there are people who are dying with hunger every second. There is a huge gap between procurement and also distribution. The entire produce is not always procured, or there is no 100% perfect. Though there are many efforts that are being, the middlemen always, have a huge say and regulate and making huge profits where the farmers are not getting sufficient income. At the same time, the end consumers are paying huge price for the food. Okay, there is nothing wrong having a middleman, those who are, they have their own contribution, but at what cost? That matters. Okay, you can take, as long as, there is some uh, percentage of which you can make a profit, but it should not be that the middlemen are earning billions and billions of rupees, and the poor farmers are committing suicides because of lack of you know proper income from the source. And again, people are struggling and to buy vegetables and other food grains, and they are restricting themselves to the low priced or lowest priced food grains, so that they are also not adequately meeting their nutrition requirements. So a lot needs to be done in this area, where we need to be very focused. So why we are talking all about this is, today is a great day that we are celebrating Farmers Day. But these are also challenges which we are not able to meet. Of course, we have a lot of schemes, programs that has improved a lot. This will not happen because there is a lot of socio-economical, political reasons due to which this is not happening. But at the end of the day, when we are consuming food, then we should always remember the farmer. Poor farmer is struggling, and India is still an agrarian major occupation nation. So we need to focus on them. And this occasion reminds us, with all the positive initiatives, productive policies, and programs, there is much more need to focus on various programs that will strengthen and empower farmers and help in preventing poverty and malnutrition, or nutrition related issues, and a healthy, wealthy population. So every year, India observes Farmers' Day or Kisan Divas on December 23. Farmers are the driving force of the country's economy and deserve to be honored. And this day also celebrates the birth of fifth Prime Minister of India, Chaudhry Charan Singh, who started as a farmer, earning his seat in the government. Uh, this day aims to promote awareness of the importance of farmers and their valuable contribution to the overall social and economic development of the nation. Chaudhary Charan Singh is a remarkable testimony to the fact that despite having humble beginnings and living in a plain lifestyle, one can go to the greatest things. So Kisan Divas is celebrated today, that is on December 23rd, to honor the anniversary of his great man's birth. India is primarily an agriculture-based country. The national economy and citizens of India heavily depend on farmers to sustain the country's development. It also happens that one of the great leaders in the history, Chaudhry Charan Singh, was himself from a small farmer's family in Uttar Pradesh. And Singh went on to become India's first prime minister, setting a precedent for the reverence of farmers. From pre-independence to post-independence, Singh played a key role in shaping of India's agriculture sector by advocating and passing different bills for farmers' reforms. Taking over the seat of Prime Minister Morarji Desai after the demise of Janata Party's Singh tenure was from 1979 to 1980. During this short time as Prime Minister, Singh strived for the welfare and betterment of Indian farmers. Several schemes were introduced to elevate the social status of farmers. For his exemplary work and journey from farmer to becoming the head of the state. The government of India in the year 2001 to mark Singh's birth anniversary as a day for celebrating Kisan Divas. Actually, annually on this occasion, several programs are arranged across the country. These events have a significant impact on the farmer community and provide them with various platforms for voicing their aspirations and demands. Agriculture scientists showcase latest in technology and science to assist farmers in maximizing their output. The government also supports farmers by organizing various competitions in which winners are awarded prizes. So, on December 23, 1902, a visionary was born. Chaudhary Singh Charan Singh was born. And with great power comes great responsibility. So, on July 28, 1979, Chaudhary Charan Singh becomes the first Prime Minister of India. Sorry, becomes the fifth Prime Minister of India. And in September 2018, thousands of farmers marched to New Delhi with a charter of demands consisting of 15 points, bringing out a resolution in September 2018. So, although there is no exact figure available, there are approximately more than 150 to 175 million farmers running various agricultural activity in India. So every year, the spirit and dedication of farmers are celebrated on Kisan Divas in India. The day also commemorates the birth anniversary of Chaudhary Charan Singh, the fifth Prime Minister of India, as already mentioned. It comes no surprise that Uttar Pradesh is the leading farmer state of India, and this is in this region which Chaudhary Charan Singh was born, and it yields major crop production of rice, grains, sugarcane, and many more. So if you have a farm in your area, be sure to visit it and thank local farmers for their tireless efforts and dedication. If you can take your kids along and make a trip an educational one, and buy directly from a farmer, because farmers are quite underpaid and most of the profits and gains from their produce go to the sellers, corporations, and the government. Farmers or their families sometimes head to the city to sell their produce at market. So rather try to buy directly from them. To make day fun or plant some seeds of your choice, it can be tomatoes, peas, berries, or whatever you like, vegetables or fruits or leafy vegetables for that matter. The fruits of your labor, pun intended, will be worth it. And you can enjoy homemade, homegrown fruits and vegetables. And when we look at about the Kisan leader, Charan Singh, came from a peasant family, which helped him relate to the plight of farmers after he became the Prime Minister of India. In a country like India, where landlords monopolize the agriculture sector, Singh's budget plan during his tenure focused on fulfilling the demands of farmers and uniting them against the powerful proprietors. Further challenging the landlords or zamindars. Singh passed the Zamindari Abolition Act, and his continuous fight for the rights and a better quality of life for the Indian farmer made him a hero in agrarian communities across the country, particularly in his own state of Uttar Pradesh. And Singh was also quite an expressive writer and would frequently pen his thoughts on possible solutions to farmers' problems. And the extraordinary stories of leaders like Charan Singh are always a marvel. How he was able to work his way up from a farmer to prime minister's seat is truly inspiring and definitely worth celebrating. The great work of farmers challenges the general assumption that only high authority leaders have the most important role in a system. Though farmers lead simple lives, their hard work generates employment, creates imports and exports, and makes India the greatest country as it is today. So that giving back to farmers see as how their output is unparalleled. We love the day is dedicated to farmers so that the citizens of the nations appreciate their important contributions and help farmers in their plight. So let's all thank farmers, not only just today, every day, and try to support in a number of ways where we can contribute to them. And this Farmers' Day is also celebrated on different days in different countries, as we have already seen that every country has their own contributors who have exceptionally contributed to their nation. So, based on their contributions, apart from World Farmers' Day or International Farmers' Day, we have National Farmers' Day in almost uh, each of the country or almost every country. So here in Ghana, the National Farmers Day is an annual celebration of farmers and fishermen observed on the first Friday of December. And Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana honors with special awards to deserving farmers and fishermen based on their practices and output. Even in Pakistan also, it is also known as Kisan Day, was celebrated for the first time in the country's history on 18th December 2019 in Islamabad, as was also acknowledged by the Prime Minister. The idea was proposed by leading fertilizer manufacturing group in favor of promoting farmer welfare and prosperity while celebrating Pakistan's first Farmers' Day on 18th December 2019 during a special event in Islamabad, which was acknowledged and endorsed by the country's premier. In South Korea, the observance is on 11th November. It competes with the Pepero Day on the same day. In America, it is observed on 12th October every year. It is celebrated to pay tribute to all farmers throughout the American history. In Vietnam, it is observed on 14th October every year as the anniversary of the foundation of Vietnamese Peasant Society. It was formerly observed on 26 March, the same day as the Youth Day in North. Hence, reunified Vietnam in South Vietnam from 1971 until 1975 to commemorate passing of Land Reforms Act of 1970. The National Farmers Day in Zambia is observed in the first Monday of August. So similarly, in various countries, accordingly, it is commemorated. So farmers are the foundation stone for our nation's development. India being primarily an agriculture-based country makes farmers an incredible asset to the nation. They are driving force of our nation, and it is also celebrated and commemorated on this occasion, Farmers' Day or Kisan Divas. The agriculture sector uh, of India provides numerous people with jobs. India is agricultural country with its dominant sector being the primary sector, and it also produces lots of agriculture products and also various byproducts, and also including waste like which is the end product of like hay, which is agriculture produce a waste, though it is not waste. In fact, that again it becomes a fodder, that is food for cattle. So similarly, there are a lot of byproducts that are also generated in the process. So that brings out huge opportunities for employment, industry, as well as various sectors to depend on the agriculture sector. And the economy is highly dependent on the farmers. The development in the primary sector determines the country's holistic development. Farmers are an extremely crucial asset for the nation since the entire development rate is dependent on agriculture produced by the primary sector, and the other two sectors, that is secondary and tertiary, are also majorly dependent on agriculture being its resource. So the agriculture sector determines the development of a nation in every aspect. It also plays a major role in determining the effects on the economy pertaining to the export and import of goods. So National Farmers' Day is also celebrated to honor remarkable Prime Minister of India who has begun his career as a farmer himself, coming from a humble background, and went along to create history for the country. He belonged to the small farming family from Uttar Pradesh, and he was incredibly revered soul by the farmers of India and carried questionable policies in favor of agriculture sector in India. And farms are source of food and economy for the country and must be acknowledged for that. And we can also inculcate a practice of sponsoring, buying directly from a farmer rather than middlemen in order to curb the losses and corruption in the farming business. In India, farmers require middlemen in order to sell out their outputs or products for the city or urban places, which makes them quite underpaid. So that we can buy directly from that uh, farmer to ensure that the right amount of payment. Another incredible way that we can uh, celebrate Farmers' Day is to support farmers or farmers associations or farmers guilds or farmers producers organizations uh, in extending their supports, our support and love, care and concern, including regular agreements for buying their products. So on this occasion, let's also learn some insights into Chaudhary Charan Singh Ji. He is born on 23rd December 1902, and he died on 29th May 1987. Served as fifth Prime Minister of India between 28th July 1979 to 14th January 1980. and people frequently refer him to as champion of Indian peasants. Charan Singh entered politics as part of Indian independence movement motivated by Mahatma Gandhi, and he was active from 1931 in Ghaziabad district Arya Samaj as well as the Meerut district Indian National Congress, for which he was jailed twice by the British. Before independence, as a member of Legislative Assembly of the United Provinces elected in 1937, he took a deep interest in the laws that were detrimental to the village economy, and he slowly built his ideological and practical stand against the exploitation of tillers of the land by landlords. So between 1952 to 1967, he was one of the three principal leaders in the Congress state politics. He became particularly notable in Uttar Pradesh from 1950s for drafting and ensuring passage of what were then the most revolutionary land reform laws in any state in India, and the tutelage of then Chief Minister Govind Ballabh Pant, first as primary parliamentary secretary and then as revenue minister responsible for land reforms. He became visible on the national stage from 1959 when he publicly opposed and the unquestioned leader and Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru socialistic and collectivistic land policies in the Nagpur Congress session. Though his position in the fact-ridden Uttar Pradesh Congress was weakened, this was a point when the middle peasant communities across the caste in northern India began looking up to him as their spokesman and later as their unquestioned leader. Singh stood for tight government spending, enforced consequences for corrupt officers, and advocated a firm hand in dealing with the demands of government employees for increased wages and dearness allowances. It is also worth noting that within the fractional Uttar Pradesh Congress, his ability to articulate his clear policies and values made him stand out of his colleagues. Following this period, Charan Singh defected from the Congress on 1st April 1967, joined the opposition party, and became the first non-Congress chief minister of UP. And this was a period when non-Congress governments were a strong force in India from 1967 to 1971. As a leader of Bharatiya Lokdal, a major constituent of the Janata coalition, he was disappointed in his ambition to become prime minister in 1977 by the Jayaprakash Narayan choice of Morarji Desai. During 1977 Lok Sabha elections, the fragmented opposition united a few months ago before the elections under the Janata Party banner, for which Chaudhry Charan Singh has been struggling almost single-handedly since 1974. It was because of the efforts of Raj Narayan that he became Prime Minister in the year 1979. Though Raj Narayan was chairman of Janata Party Secular and assured Charan Singh of elevating him as Prime Minister, the way he helped him to become Chief Minister in the year 1967 in Uttar Pradesh. However, he resigned after just 24 weeks in the office when Indira Gandhi's Congress party withdrew support to the government. And Charan Singh said he resigned because he was not ready to be blackmailed into withdrawing Indira Gandhi's emergency related court cases. Fresh elections were held 6 months later, and Charan Singh continued to lead to the Lok Dal in opposition until his death in 1986. So Charan Singh followed Mahatma Gandhi in non-violent struggle for independence from the British government and was imprisoned several times. In 1930, he was sent to jail for 12 years by the British for contravention of the salt laws. He was jailed again for 1 year in November 1940 for individual satyagraha movement. In August 1942, he was jailed again by the British under DAR and released in November 1943. And Charan Singh opposed Jawaharlal Nehru on his Soviet-style economic reforms. And Charan Singh was of the opinion that cooperative farms would not succeed in India. Being a son of a farmer, Charan Singh opined that the right of ownership was important to the farmer in remaining a cultivator. He wanted to preserve and stabilize a system of peasant proprietorship. Charan Singh's political career suffered due to his open criticisms of Nehru's economic policy. Charan Singh left the Congress party in 1967 and formed his own political party, Bharatiya Kranti Dal, with the help and support of Raj Narayan and Ram Manohar Lohia. He became Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in 1967 and later in 1970. In 1975, he was jailed again, but this time by then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, daughter of his former rival Nehru. She had declared the state of emergency and jailed all her political opponents. In 1977 general elections, the Indian populace voted her out, and the opposition party of Chaudhry Charan Singh was a senior leader, came into power, and he served as a deputy prime minister, home minister, and finance minister in the Janata government headed by Morarji Desai. And Charan Singh had 6 children, with his wife Gayatri Devi was and she was elected as MLA from Iglas in 1969, from Gokul in 1974, and then elected to Lok Sabha from Kerala in 1980 and lost Lok Sabha elections from Mathura in 1984. His son Ajit Singh was the president of a political party, Rashtriya Lok Dal, and a former union minister and a many times member of parliament. Ajit Singh's son Jayant Chaudhary was elected to 15th Lok Sabha from Mathura, which he lost to Hema Malini in the election of 2014. Singh suffered a stroke on 29th November 1985. He could not completely recover from the condition despite being treated the following March at a hospital in the US. At 11:35 p.m. on 28 May 1987, doctors were called for his residence in New Delhi after his respiration was found unsteady. So efforts to revive him failed and he was declared dead at 2:35 a.m. the following morning after a cardiovascular collapse. So he was a chief architect of land reforms in UP. He took a leading part in the formulation and finalization of the Department Redemption Bill 1939, which brought great relief to the rural debtors. It was also at his initiative that the salaries and other privileges enjoyed by the ministers in UP were drastically reduced. As chief minister, he was instrumental in bringing about the Land Holding Act 1960, which was aimed at lowering the ceiling on land holding to make it uniform throughout the state. Since his death, many who knew him Singh has ensured his life and work are remembered positively. These perceptions enforce the notion that he was of a higher category of leaders in the areas of intellect, personal integrity, and coherence of his economic and social thought. His association with causes dear to the farming communities in India caused his memorial in New Delhi to be named as Kisan Ghat. Kisan in Hindi is the word for farmer and Ghat is for the river bank. And his birthday on 23rd December is celebrated as Kisan Divas in India. A commemorative postage stamp was issued by the Government of India on the third death anniversary, 29th May 1990, of Charan Singh. So the Amosi Airport in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh was renamed Chaudhary Charan Singh International Airport after him And the University of Meerut in Uttar Pradesh, India was also named Chaudhary Charan Singh University in his honor. So Kisan Kranti ke Praneta Praneta C.H. Charan Singh is a 1996 short documentary film directed by Ashok Vazrani and produced by the Films Division of India, which covers the life and achievements of the Prime Minister, including his contributions to the Indian agriculture sector. So it's a must watch documentary. Kindly do watch if you get an opportunity. We will try to take it up with time permits on any fine day. And Charan Singh has also been portrayed as Anwar Fateh Khan in the 2013 television series Pradhan Mantri. It means Prime Minister, which covers the tenures of Indian Prime Ministers by Sundaram in the 2019 film NTR Mahanayakudu, which is based on the life of an Indian actor politician, N.T. Ramarao, and the Govind Namdeo in the 2021 film May Mulayam Singh Yadav, which charts the life of the former Uttar Pradesh CM Mulayam Singh Yadav. So these are related movies. And also, you can, for further reading, you can go through an Indian political life, Charan Singh and Congress Politics, 1957 to 67 by Sage Publications by Paul R. Brass in 2012. Just watch a small video of the documentary.
India's freedom struggle was an unforgettable event. Both the leaders and the people who participated in this had imbibed values of truth, non-violence and sacrifice. People who were obsessed with the desire for freedom were determined to achieve their goals despite the severe tortures that they had to endure. Their confidence was derived from the immense strength of dedicated love for the country. Also guided by people of great convictions, they were inspired to render a selfless service to the nation. Amongst the constellation of such stars was one shining star, Chaudhry Charan Singh.
Political leadership of the country must remember
Welfare of the peasants was his prime concern.
values,
Thus he came to be addressed as Kisan Kranti ke Praneta.
prosperity struggle of our people.
चौधरी साहब अपने जीवन में
In the words of the former Union Minister Chaudhry Ajit
महात्मा
Singh,
गांधी और सरदार
Chaudhry
पटेल,
Sahab was highly influenced by two individuals, Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel. Chaudhry Singh's economic policy was based on the same principles as Gandhiji's dream of a Gram Swaraj. His mission in life was motivated by the courageous attitude of Sardar Patel and the love of farmers. Chaudhry Charan Singh was born on the 23rd December 1902 in a small cottage at Nurpur village of Uttar Pradesh. Later, he was shifted to Badabla by his parents. From there, they moved to Budkadi and settled there. The small village, with its humble background, had a primary school that shaped and groomed his great personality of the future. There, he minutely observed the problems of the rural people. Even after slogging for the whole day, they were not rewarded well. These problems left an indelible mark in the impressionable mind of young Charan Singh. He passed his higher school studies from Meerut. In 1923, he graduated in science from Agra, and in 1925, he acquired his post-graduation degree in MA. In 1926, after getting a degree in law, he started his legal practice. By then, he got married to Gayatri Devi. In her words, he was obsessed with the thought of his country. He tried to emulate the principles of Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Dayanand, Swami Vivekanand and Sardar Patel, and thus tried to achieve his goals. He was always concerned with the future of India. He thought it necessary to be enlightened by these great men. Chaudhry Sahab was in jail when he wrote a book for children to learn good behavior. He was highly impressed by Jhansi Ki Rani, and he taught children to sing in praise of her. So often have we heard in the story, like a man she fought. She was the queen of Jhansi.
कैसे बोलना चाहिए, सबके साथ कैसा बर्ताव करना चाहिए। वो झांसी की रानी से भी बहुत प्रभावित थे और बच्चों को इसके बारे में गीत सिखाया करते थे। हर बोलों के मुंह ये याद कराते थे बच्चों को कि एक झांसी वाली रानी थी, हर बोलों के मुंह हमने सुनी कहानी थी, खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी।
When he was in Meerut, he refused to accept the orthodox ideas of religion, and during the same time, he was impressed by the ideology of Swami Dayanand, and he joined the Arya Samaj. By then, civil disobedience movement was at its full swing. Gandhiji, along with Satyagrahis, marched towards Dandi and produced salt. For breaking the Salt Act, he was arrested and imprisoned. A group of Satyagrahis under the leadership of Charan Singh marched to Hindon River and produced salt. They were taken into legal custody for impeachment. From this point, they surrendered their lives to the cause of freedom. In 1940, when Gandhiji started his individual satyagraha, Chaudhry Charan Singh also jumped into the fray and once again he was sent to jail. In 1942, Gandhiji started the Quit India movement. Due to his active participation, Chaudhry Charan Singh was again put behind bars. From 1929 to 1939, Chaudhry Sahab was holding various posts in the Ghaziabad Congress Committee. In 1937, for the first time, he was elected to the Provincial Assembly of Uttar Pradesh from the Ghaziabad region. In 1939, having been re-elected, Charan Singh was instrumental in the passing of a bill in the Provincial Assembly which waived off the loans taken by farmers. Since 1948, he was holding various portfolios in the UP ministries like Justice, Information, Agriculture, Animal Husbandry, Revenue, Transport, Irrigation, Energy, Home Ministry and also other independent portfolios. Since he hailed from a farmer's family, he was well acquainted with the rural lifestyle and had a thorough knowledge about the problems faced by the agrarian society. It was Chaudhry Charan Singh's proposal in Uttar Pradesh to implement land reforms and to abolish the zamindari system. Due to the untiring efforts of Chaudhry Charan Singh, the farmers who were being exploited by the zamindars acquired the right to own the lands which they had tilled. Lauding the abolition of the zamindari system, an American agricultural expert said that Uttar Pradesh alone had implemented this extensive law effectively, by which many farmers could claim ownership of the distributed land. Chaudhry Sahab also adhered to the fixation of land ceiling in the state, through which many farmers benefited.
चौधरी चरण सिंह अत्यंत ही
In the words of Sri Satya Prakash Malaviya,
विद्वान पुरुष थे.
Chaudhry Charan Singh was a very disciplined and an erudite person. He was determined to bring about development in the rural sector of India. He believed that India will be able to see the dawn of prosperity only when the farmers' community progressed. He said that 75% of India's population dwells in the villages. Hence it becomes imperative for the Indian villages to progress.
केवल ग्रामीण इलाकों में आबाद रहती है, वहीं पर रहती है, और जब तक ग्रामीण इलाकों का विकास नहीं होगा, भारत का विकास नहीं होगा. और इसलिए उनका एक वाक्य था कि देश की उन्नति का रास्ता इस देश के ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों की पगडंडी की ओर से है.
In 1967, he became the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh.
चौधरी साहब के साथ
Mr. Tilak Ram Sharma, who served as Chaudhry's private secretary for about 4 years, says that Charan Singh was very honest and always abided by the rules of the country and never entertained any recommendations in appointments or transfer. He always held the view that government officials are servants of the public and there should be no bias or prejudice in the treatment meted out to them. That's why, in his ministry, about 2/3 of the staff were Dalits and backward class people.
हमने सीनियोरिटी से कर दिया है, तो बोले नहीं साहब ये अपने आदमी हैं. चौधरी साहब बिगड़ गए. क्या अपने आदमी, क्या बातें करें आप? गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट किसी के आदमी नहीं. वो जो सरकार या जो अधिकारी होते हैं उनके प्रति फेथफुल होते हैं. इस तरह से जो एसपीटी गवर्नमेंट बनी उसमें भी दलितों और बैकवर्ड के लिए सबसे पहली दफा इतना कोटा उन्होंने रखा. करीब 2/3 के करीब मंत्री उनके होंगे.
Chaudhry Sahab was not very religious minded. He considered that the source of strength for all religions is derived through compassion for human progress. He opposed the caste distinctions tooth and nail. He believed that the dawn of unity will not arise until the caste differences are abolished. He corresponded from time to time with Pandit Nehru on the evils of casteism in the country. Chaudhry Charan Singh firmly believed that India's economic progress depended entirely upon the development of small-scale and cottage industries. He was determined to uplift the Dalits, backward classes, farmers and skilled workers.
इकोनॉमिक्स का एक मोटा सा उसूल अर्थशास्त्र का कि
If the limited available resources are used to the optimum, economic progress can be achieved.
तो इस तरह की अर्थव्यवस्था हो कि उस साधन का अच्छे से अच्छा उपयोग हो, बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन इस्तेमाल.
The former Union Minister, Shri Ajit Singh, says that Chaudhry Sahab was always anxious about the backward class, the farmers' community. He did not opt for unruly methods, be it for bringing about the farmers' development or for the abolishment of zamindari system or replacing the village accountant. Charan Singh always abided by law and accordingly carried out rural development.
चौधरी साहब ने हमेशा कानून बना के ऐसा काम किया जिससे कि वो आगे भी लगातार गांव का उससे भला होता रहे.
He has written books on several subjects like land reform, economics, casteism and etiquette.
The Chief Election Commissioner is being asked to make arrangements for
In 1977, general election was announced.
fresh elections alone can restore democratic content to the functioning of governments in these states. With the exit of the ministries in these states, another big step has been taken to remove the atmosphere of fear.
Political scenario changed rapidly. Like-minded non-Congress parties came together and formed a united front. Janata Party was formed, and for the first time since independence, the centre had a non-Congress government. Charan Singh became Home Minister. On his 77th birthday, on 23rd December 1978, Chaudhry Charan Singh organized the historical farmers' rally at the Boat Club of Delhi. His numerous followers presented him with 77 lakh rupees. With this auspicious amount, he set up a trust for the farmers' welfare. Later, Chaudhry Charan Singh became the Deputy Prime Minister and also a Finance Minister of India. As the Finance Minister during 1979 to 80, he presented the central budget.
And widening income disparities.
Keeping the interest of the farmers in mind, he abolished the excise duty on tobacco completely.
More and more production per acre of land and multiplication of hand-operated industries. One may call them handicrafts, cottage industries, village industries, rural industries.
Even though Charan Singh was one of the founders of the Janata Party, he could not avert the split in it. Since Charan Singh was enjoying the majority support, he was invited by the President to form the government at the centre.
We are going to make
Shri Raj Narayan.
under the leadership of Chaudhry Charan Singh.
Chaudhry Charan Singh became the 5th Prime Minister of India.
मैं चरण सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा. मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा. Our poverty has to be eliminated.
Even after becoming the Prime Minister, Chaudhry Charan Singh continued to practice Gandhian principles and social justice. The political vision of Charan Singh can be clearly elucidated in his words. The path to prosperity of India passes only through the villages. He was aware of the effects of inflation on the lives of the poor and the underprivileged classes, and hence he always took efforts to safeguard them. On the 33rd Independence Day, the Prime Minister Charan Singh addressed the nation from the Red Fort. In his speech he said, the Janata Party government was bent upon creating jobs for the unemployed youths. Apart from this, the government was determined to uplift the Dalits, scheduled tribes, landless, unemployed and underemployed people. He further reiterated his faith in the equidistribution of agricultural lands amongst the poor farmers of the country. He came down heavily upon the one disease which is stifling the growth of the country, that is corruption.
भूमिहीन लोग, बेरोजगार लोग या जिनके पास कम रोजगार और अपने देश के 50% से अधिक किसान जिनके पास केवल 1 हेक्टेयर जमीन है, 4 बीघे जमीन से कम है, इन सब की तरफ गवर्नमेंट का विशेष ध्यान होगा। खेती की पैदावार बढ़ाने की तरफ विशेष ध्यान देने की आवश्यकता। भ्रष्टाचार की कोई सीमा नहीं, और जिस देश में भ्रष्ट होंगे लोग, वो देश कभी चाहे कोई लीडर आ जाए, कोई पार्टी बरसरे इख्तिदार हो जाए, कितने अच्छे प्रोग्राम क्यों ना हो, वो देश कभी तरक्की नहीं। तो अगर देश को उठना है, पुरुषार्थ करना होगा, हम सबको पुरुषार्थ करना होगा। मैं अपने आप को उसमें शामिल करता हूं, अपने जो सहयोगी मिनिस्टर में बैठे उन सबको शामिल करता हूं कि हमको अनवरत परिश्रम करना पड़ेगा, तब जाके ये देश उठेगा। जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय हिंद।
As the support to his ministry was withdrawn, Chaudhry Charan Singh resigned from the Prime Ministership. Accepting his resignation, the President announced the mid-term poll for the Lok Sabha. Whether in power or not, Charan Singh was always thinking about the helpless and the poor. He wanted to eradicate poverty from the country. These worries reflected on his health. He fell ill.
मुझे सौभाग्य था।
His son-in-law, Dr. J.P. Singh, says,
डॉक्टर भी था और
he had taught me to treat even the VIPs like any other human being.
वीआईपी का इलाज करूं तो मैं कभी ना भूलूं कि वो भी एक इंसान है और सादा इंसान है।
29 May 1987. After a prolonged illness, the cruel hands of destiny snatched Charan Singh away from us. The peasant son of India passed away. Those backward people, Dalits and the farmers, for whom he had dedicated his life, are paying their homage to their Messiah. Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, the President of India, says, Charan Singh had been a minister in UP throughout his life, yet he was always thinking about the poor people and the farmers. In order to mitigate the loan burden on the farmers, he enacted a revolutionary law. He had formulated the Land Holding Consolidated Act to brighten the landless farmer's life.
लैंड होल्डिंग कंसोलिडेशन एक्ट बनाया ताकि उनको एक तरह से काम कर सके, उनको बहुत से जमीन पर अधिकार दिए, तो बराबर उनके जीवन में जो आम आदमी हैं, जो किसान हैं, जमीन के आदमी हैं, वो किस तरह से उठे। उनकी मान्यता थी कि अगर देश को उठना है तो देश के किसानों को उठना होगा।
This is the room where Chaudhry Sahab used to meet all the dignitaries. This is the desk he had been using ever since he was a lawyer and even after he became the Prime Minister. His compassion towards the poor and his dedication towards his beloved motherland, India, are examples to be emulated by the future generations. Charan Singh loved to inhale the fragrance of the earth after the rainfall. Today, he has merged into the very earth which he loves so much and inspires from within the pathway to progress. Noble souls and noble deeds seldom perish. Your selfless service to the poor of the nation we always cherish.
So with this, we shall conclude today's commemoration of Farmers' Day. And today we are also commemorating various other commemorations like National Roots Day. It gives people a chance to dwell into, reflect on their family's heritage, history, and ancestry. And it is a perfect time to learn about our ancestors and collect family information. There is always that one family member who has taken on the role of family historian and eagerly shares memories and stories about our around the dinner table or whenever we find a gathering. So while it is a tedious process, if you decide to really dig deep, it is worth tracing your lineage. So you may be related to any famous, ancestry for all you know, or someone who has been part an important historical event. This is in context with the US, as the United States of America has welcomed immigrants from all over the world. These settlers changed their names and adopted the local cuisines and customs just like any other blue-blooded American. Just such is the diversity that the nation has been referred to as melting pot of cultural assimilation. But as multiculturalism is becoming more and more widespread, we'll naturally have an interest in our past. As we learn about our family heritage, we often understand our parents and grandparents better and even ourselves. National Roots Day celebrates this impulse to dig deeper into our ancestry. On this day, memories are shared, assembled for better understanding of our predecessors and their lives. Before these memories fade and details start to get fuzzy, it's better to have them assembled and linked. The participation of every generation is encouraged in discovering the struggles and accomplishments of our family's lineages. Stories of each generation, whose efforts, success, and failures have all contributed to shaping us as a person, should be documented. So, making a family tree is an appropriate activity. Collect as much as information as you can from your parents, grandparents, relatives, uncles, aunts, and create an interlinked family tree. You can even have one professionally made to be displayed and share your stories with the young ones and listen them. They would like to listen and how we, our about our ancestry and family, and it can be a good stories and pastimes for them and significant historical events in family. And if you can also make a genealogy chart, and surnames are based on occupation, places, or geographical locations, appearances, nicknames, or based on certain sages or certain important persons, personalities. It can be of any similar thing. So tracing back 8 generations, the majority of people will have astounding 256 ancestors. Even in Hindu rituals also, it is very important that we, take minimum of 3 generations, past generations up to 7 generations. So you should be knowing the details of your father, or mother and their father, grandfather, great grandfather, and great great grandfather. So back to 7 generations. So because these are also required So this also has a religious significance apart from historical and other significance. And you must have seen some symbols on some headstones uh, in cemeteries, or certain markings where they have meanings and are related to the family that has deceased person belonged to. And if you ever research family members who served, you can see in important events like independence movement or world wars, or try putting them different dates, ages, and often exaggerated to meet the enlistment requirements. So honoring our family name and history has a long way, and there are so many disputes fought and a great work done by our ancestors. And it will be a truly a shame if these events are lost to the sands of time and not preserved for our future generations to look back and learn from. This is what, we all are a bit shameful, because we are not creating back to our sages and ancestors, and we are losing them, and we literally know nothing about our own ancestors and their rich cultures and traditions, and we are adapting these foreign, alien, Western, customs, traditions, and we are now really holding an identity crisis, and we lost ourselves in the process, and we cannot look back and trace our own ancestors or the lineage, great lineage from which we belong to. So it's a very shameful thing for us. So it's, at least on this day, take an initiative, go back. As we learn more about our lineage, we also discover more about ourselves and understand our traits and habits better. It's a wonderful experience to be able to reflect on our families and how their lives eventually shaped us. And it, although family trees and roots are personal, they are extended to other cultures. Perhaps a person's origin are completely different from who they are today, like us, because India is a very rich, diverse, rich culture, and nowadays it is highly influenced by the Western cultures and Western religions, which are dominating and which are wiping out the indigenous religions, cultures, traditions. So today we might be entirely different of what we are earlier. So delving into our roots fosters respect and appreciation for different cultures and nations. And today is also Nation Forest Day. So it is in honor of Vestal. Sorry, that was in a different context. Uh, so today is also a Human Light Day. It's a secular humanist holiday celebrated commemorating values of compassion, reason, hope, and humanity are celebrated and expressed on this holiday, not rooted in any existing religion, but it is a positive vision of happy and peaceful world. Human light parties and celebrations are popular all over the world. The main aim of this day is to celebrate humanity and to promote a world where only peace and positivity prevail. And it is a day created to provide humanist celebration of the Western world. And it was founded by the leaders of the New Jersey Humanist Network in 2001 to empower secular people in commemorating the December holiday season without disturbing any other holidays, still being in thick of the holiday season. So Human Light aims to encourage a celebration and expression of people's beliefs, no matter if they are different from each other. This day does not focus on what people do not believe in. It is for all those who are non-atheists, non-religious, free-thinkers, atheists, and humanists who have family, who have humanity more than anything else. So celebrate human light and build the humanist community. Even if you are also religious, it doesn't matter, because the matter of being religion or not religion doesn't, uh, as long as you are a human being, religion comes next. You have to be first a human being to subscribe to certain religion or faith. If you can't be a human being, you cannot take any faith or religion. So first you are a human being, then comes the religion. Religion is your choice, but being human being is not your choice. You know. So first you are a human being. So humanity is the foremost of anything. Being human, having values such as compassion, gratitude, caring, love, concern. And next comes your religion. So a human being can exist without religion, but where religion cannot exist without a human being. So human beings can thrive, survive, develop, and prosper without religions, but religions cannot survive without its followers. That why that's why we see a lot of religions or religious communities are struggling in conversion, in forceful or whatever kind of, because they are in constant fear of this, extinction. So it always keeps them to get more people into that so that it keeps moving on. So these are various. So on this occasion, so humanity is first. First, be a good human being rather than being some uh, identifying yourself with certain religion or belief system or certain community. First, let's all be a good human being with human values and try to be secular. Okay, you might belong to certain community, certain religion. That should be a private or a personal matter, but that should not be imposed on everyone, right? And anyway, you belong to certain community or religion. That means uh, it's your responsibility again to protect and promote them. So to promote the values, cultures, and traditions, because even that is not a choice in the very first place, but later it is a choice again. But this is a very short life. Whatever is best endowed by nature, you need to embrace that. See, changing, of course, there are different issues, but altogether you will not get an opportunity again. So maybe in the next birth you may be born in a different religion, who knows, or a different community, or altogether as a different, not even as a human being. So whatever has been, best bestowed by the Almighty, you need to embrace that. And maybe you cannot change your, you know, anything which is like, you cannot change your mother, you cannot change your father. In the same way, you should not also change your religion as such. In fact, or your belief system as such, because you are best endowed and you are given an opportunity to rejoice it. Of course, there is nothing wrong in embracing all belief systems and religions, but at the same time, treating, respecting equally everyone. It's not that, respecting one's own and, criticizing all others. That is the greatest sin one commits out of ignorance and arrogance. So that should not be, because we are human beings. First, human being, appreciate the fellow human being as a human being. And we should always have compassion, love towards other human being, irrespective of which community, which caste it belongs to. And only if other person is interested, we should talk about religion. Otherwise, we should not impose anything as such, as long as the other person is comfortable. So secularism denotes a system that promotes equal respect for all religions and belief, and unfortunately, only Hindus or Indians talk about, not all Indians, only especially Hindus talk about secularism, because no one else, no other country in the world is secular country, and no other religion promotes secularism. That is most unfortunate, but other religions also have to learn about secularism and need to promote to have a peace and harmony. And compassion is not a distinct emotion, it is just a variation of love or sadness. And helping others can bring us pleasure and joy. And many studies also prove that. And hope is a state of mind that cherishes a desire with anticipation. And human light is a symbol and was designed by a volunteer artist. It was an ancient symbol by the human light symbol. And today, human light is one of the very few festivals in the world that celebrate secularism. So we can observe the day by cherishing secularism along with compassion, humanity, and hope. And yes, it is a much needed celebration because the world is filled with negativity, hate, and despair. And people are, either imposing these conversions, hatred towards other communities, other religions, other belief systems. So this is much needed celebration. Aims to fill the world with hope, secularism, love, and peace. And this teaches some of the most important things one needs to embrace in life, that is love, compassion, and secularism. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. And feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. Kindly quickly fill up the feedback form, and see you all tomorrow. And we have this Sunday, we have a paid workshop in the morning from 10 to 1. And as usual, the regular conference, free conference, will be having from 2 o'clock. So whoever is willing to present, make presentations and participation. So join us at 2 o'clock so that you can get insights on the conference topics. And whoever would like to join the morning workshop, so both the links are available on our social media platforms, in our groups. You can join, register, and join the online workshop by completing the formalities. And for conference, there is a registration link where you can register for free and you can attend as usual. All our programs are free only. Exceptionally, where there are certain fundraising special causes to support certain fundraising causes, we are organizing small events with the matching grant. The total amount that is raised in the form of events, same amount we will add to that, and we will contribute to the cause as a matching grant. So this is a wonderful opportunity where we can also contribute to the cause, special cause. So this, and we have kept it to a minimum so that at least a maximum can contribute. Again, it's up to the individual. There is no force or compulsion in any way. And the same topics are also being covered on other things. So, those who are attending regularly are not missing it. So thank you once again for joining us. So before you leave the platform, quickly fill up the feedback form. See you tomorrow at the same time with a different commemoration. Take care. Good night.